So do you also regularly conduct meetings using Zoom, and are you also still registering each of the participant manually? Then this video can be really helpful for you. So hello all, welcome back to Pabbly, and in this video we are going to understand how to register attendees for Zoom meeting from Google Sheets. So like you, I also regularly conduct meetings using Zoom, and what I've done is when I take the offline registrations, I use Google Sheets, and now what I want is that as soon as I add the new participant details in Google Sheets automatically, using the same details, a new registrant should be created in Zoom meeting too. So to do this, we are simply going to create a connection between Google Sheets and Zoom, and we're going to create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, using an amazing automation software which is Pabbly Connect. So if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business, then for that you have to come with me towards my screen. Welcome to my screen everyone. So let's move in further and create this automation, or you can say connection between Google Sheets and Zoom. But before we move on further, I'll just show you a magic. So what I'm just going to do is, let's say I'm just going to simply enter the details right over here of the new registrant. So let's say that for the offline registration, I use this Google Sheet, and I'm just going to simply enter the details of all the registrant right over here. So I'm just going to simply enter the details, but before I enter the complete details, first I'm just going to go towards this My Meetings, and over here I'm just going to first show you all the registrants in this meeting. So you can see that over here I have 5 registrants in this meeting, and we don't have anyone named Smart Lead. Alright, so let's say now I'm just going to simply register the Smart Lead. I'm just going to simply enter all of these details of Smart Lead right over here. I'm just going to simply enter the phone number too, and as you can see that I've successfully entered all of these details. And now after entering all of these details, I'm just going to simply open my registrations, and I'm just going to refresh it right from here. And once I'm just going to refresh it, you're going to see that now registrants have turned into 6. Alright, I'm just going to go towards this view, and as you can see, this Smart Lead, this email address has been registered right over here for this webinar. So yes, this is no magic. This is the power of automation which we're going to create in today's video. And if you also want to create this amazing automation for your own business too, then for that you have to watch this tutorial till the end. So to do this, I'm just going to open a new tab, and I'm just going to search for the landing page of Pabbly Connect simply by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. Now it is opening the landing page of Pabbly Connect, and Pabbly Connect is an easy to use automation tool using which we're going to create this connection or this automation. Alright, but before we move on further, I'll just show you something really helpful. This is the Pabbly community where automation users, business owners and marketers connect. Pabbly community is a space where users share their ideas, workflow tips, doubts and solutions. So if you're stuck at any step, the community is a great resource for guidance. And if you also want to join this amazing community, the link is given in the description box below. Make sure to check it out. Alright, I'm just going to go forward towards the landing page of Pabbly Connect, and over here as you can see that our Independence Day sale is going on. So we are offering Pabbly Connect at a one-time price right now. So if you wish to purchase Pabbly Connect, today is a great day to purchase it, because right now we are giving a heavy discount on it. So yes, now we're just going to move in further, and without wasting any more time, I'm just going to create this connection. For that, I'm just going to come over here towards this landing page, and we have 2 options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can simply click on this sign up for free, and you're going to get 300 tasks to explore the application. So you can explore Pabbly Connect by simply clicking on this sign up for free. Over here, I'm an existing user, so I'm simply going to click on this button which says sign in. And now it is opening all Pabbly apps, and over you're going to see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video, we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm simply going to click on this access now right over here to access my Pabbly Connect account. And now it is opening the dashboard of my Pabbly Connect account, and to get started, I'm just going to simply click on this button which says create workflow. And now it is asking me to select the workflow builder, the new one or the classic one. So the new workflow builder is faster, flexible and ideal for those who want a modern interface, while the classic one on the other hand is stable, has a familiar approach and ideal for those who want a tried and tested setup. So you can use any one of this. I'm just going to use this new one, so I'm just going to go towards the select of the new one. Now I'm just going to simply enter the name of my workflow and select the folder in which I want to save my workflow. So on my dashboard you can see multiple folders which I've already created in which I save my workflows. So if you also want to create a new folder, you can simply go towards this create new folder button and create your own. I've already created many, so I'm just going to save my workflow in one of these only, and now I'm just going to simply click on this button which says create. And once I'm just going to click on this create, it is going to open the most important window of our automation. So this is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger and actions are the two main principles on which our workflow is going to run. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So by this you can understand that the trigger starts the process and the actions are results towards the same. So to get started, I'm just going to simply select my trigger application. So I'm just going to go towards this add trigger button, and now I'm just going to simply select my trigger application right over here, which is Google Sheets. So I'm just going to search for Google Sheets right over here, and as you can see the same, so I'm simply going to select Google Sheets. For the trigger event, I'm just going to simply select new or updated spreadsheet row and click on this connect. Now it has given me a webhook URL using which we're going to create a connection between Google Sheets and Pabbly Connect. Alright, so what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to simply copy this webhook URL, then I'm just going to open my Google Sheets. And after opening this Google Sheets, what I'm doing is I am taking offline registrations in this sheet only. And now what I want is that whenever I enter the details of the new registrant in this sheet, automatically the registrant should be added in my Zoom right over here as a new registrant. Alright, I already showed how this is going to work. So first I'm just going to simply create a connection between Google Sheets and Pabbly Connect. So to do this, we simply have to go towards this extensions, add-ons, and then we have to go towards this get add-ons. Alright, so I'm just going to simply go towards this get add-ons, and we have to add an extension in this spreadsheet which is Pabbly Connect webhooks. So I'm just going to simply search for Pabbly Connect webhooks right over here. So I'm just going to go towards the search apps and type Pabbly Connect webhooks. And as you can see that this is the extension which you have to install. And I have already installed this extension right over here. You can simply install this extension from here, and what you have to do is after installing this extension, you have to refresh your spreadsheet. It is a really important step to refresh your spreadsheet. Otherwise, you'll not be able to get the option of this Pabbly Connect webhooks right over here in your extensions tab. And after getting the option of this Pabbly Connect webhooks, we simply have to go towards this Pabbly Connect webhooks and then towards this initial setup. And now what we have to do is we simply have to enter the webhook URL and the trigger column right over here. So for the webhook URL, I'm just going to simply open my workflow, and I'm just going to simply paste this same webhook URL right over here. And now for the trigger column, I'm just going to simply enter my trigger column, which is D. So the trigger column will be your final data column on which if the data is added, the whole of that row will be sent towards your webhook URL. So for me, the trigger column is D because I only want to send 4 details towards my webhook URL. If you want to send 2 details, 3 details, or 5 or 6 details, the trigger column will be accordingly. Alright, so now I'm just going to simply enter this webhook URL trigger column and click on this button which says submit. And once I'm just going to click on this submit, it is saying setup configured successfully. And now what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to simply go back towards my workflow, but now it is saying waiting for webhook response, and we have to do a test submission in order to capture this webhook response. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to open my sheets and I'm just going to do the test submission. For that, I'm just going to simply add the registrant details right over here. But we are not going to add this directly. What we have to do is we first have to go towards this extensions, Pabbly Connect webhooks, and you simply have to keep in mind that this button which is send on event should be switched on. If it is switched off, switch it on right from here. It is really important that this button should be switched on, because now what is going to happen is that whenever a new event is going to occur in the spreadsheet, automatically the details will be sent towards the webhook URL which is towards Pabbly Connect. Alright, now after switching it on, I'm just going to do the test submission. I'm just going to simply enter the first name, then I'm just going to simply enter the last name. Now I'm just going to move on further. I'm just going to add the email address right over here, and then I'm just going to move on further, and I'm just going to simply edit this email address first, and then I'm just going to simply add the phone number too. And as you can see, they've successfully added all the details right over here. And with this, we have successfully completed our test submission. So now I'm just going to open my workflow, and Pabbly is going to capture the response of this same test submission right over here in my workflow. We just have to wait for a few seconds till Pabbly is capturing the response for the same. And as you can see that Pabbly has successfully captured the response, be it the first name, last name, phone number, or the email address. These details are exactly the same which we entered during our test submission. And now using these details, I'm just going to simply create a new registrant. So once again, I'll just let you know that I use Google Sheets to collect the offline registrations. You might be using Google Sheets for multiple purposes and collecting the registrations. So that's the reason we are creating this automation. Alright, so I'm just going to move on further. Now I'm just going to move on further and add my action step. So I'm just going to go towards this add new action step. And now for the action application, I'm just going to simply select it as Zoom, because because we want to create a new registrant in Zoom. So I'm just going to search for Zoom and then I'm just going to simply select it. Now for the event, I'm just going to simply select it as add meeting registrant and click on this connect. Now in order to create a connection between Zoom and Pabbly Connect, we simply have to go towards this add a new connection and then connect with Zoom. And once I'm just going to click on this connect with Zoom, yes, you can see automatically my Zoom account is connected. So easy, right? So this is really easy because I have already logged in my Zoom account. So it is always advised to log in on applications before starting with the automation. It makes the procedure easy. And now it is asking me to select the meeting. So I'm just going to simply select the meeting, which is business growth blueprints. Now I'm just going to move in further. It is asking me for the email address. So I'm just going to simply enter the same email address right over here. So I'm just going to simply enter it, but we are not going to type it and enter it, but instead we are just going to simply map it. So you must be wondering, what is mapping? So mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And when we insert the data from the previous step, automatically our data becomes dynamic and change with every new response received. Alright, so I'm just going to simply map this email address. Now I'm just going to move in further. I'm just going to simply map this first name. So I'm just going to search for first name and map it. Next, I'm just going to simply map this last name, move on further. Now it is asking me for many another details. So if you wish, you can definitely fill out all of these details, but all of these details are not the required details. So I'm just going to leave it as blank and click on this save and send test request. If you wish, you can definitely switch this on right from here and you can simply clear this too. For the purchasing time frame, if you wish, you can definitely keep it as no time frame. For the purchase role, you can keep it as not involved. For the employees, you can also simply switch off this mapping button and erase this right from here, because all of these details are not required. You can leave it as blank too. All right, now you can see that we have successfully received the positive response, that we have successfully created a new registrant. All right, so I'm just going to simply open my Zoom, then I'm just going to go towards this registrant, and now it has turned into 7. All right, so I'm just going to go towards this view, and as you can see, with the help of the same details, we have successfully created a new registrant in our Zoom. And with this, we have successfully completed our workflow. And now what is going to happen is that whenever I'm just going to add the new details right over here, automatically using the same details, a new registrant will be created in my Zoom meeting. So all of this is going to happen in backend. We don't have to come back and again to our workflow to click on save and send test request. Whenever I'm just going to add the details in Google Sheets, automatically a new registrant will be created in Zoom, like I showed you in the starting of this video. So yes, now go try this amazing automation yourself too. And while trying, if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. See you in the next video with many more automation tips, everyone. Thank you for watching. So not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly Connect, you can connect many more applications. So now if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this URL. And now go try this amazing automation for your own business too, because right now we are offering a free trial of Pabbly Connect.